What's up, you guys? It's your girl, Mika Chanel, back with another edition of Mika Chanel is Just Saying. Okay, it's time. It's reunion time. The Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 7, reunion part number 1, okay? Bravo had such a busy night last night, right? They had 7 o'clock was the Real Housewives of Atlanta, 8 o'clock was Married to Medicine Atlanta, and then 9 o'clock was the Real Housewives of New Jersey reunion. I just didn't know what to do with myself yesterday. You know, I was so busy. I was like, oh my God, 3 hours of TV in a row. Like, I don't normally watch TV live, but I watched every show last night live except for Watch What Happens Live. I didn't actually watch that one yet, so it's recorded. But anyways, yeah, so it was a busy night. Anyways, but right now we're talking about the Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 7 reunion part number 1. Let's not make this video nowhere near as long as the last one was, okay? So let's start out with everybody in their looks. So they started out with Dolores. I thought Dolores' hair was cute. But I just was wondering why she was dressed like, you know, a Golden Globe. I didn't understand why she was sparkling so much. Like, they probably had to turn the camera light down a little bit when they, you know, focused in on her. It was so sparkly and it looked heavy as hell, okay? And she, you know, she had to stand up, show her her little butt implant. She said she had got some fat taken out of her thighs and put into her booty. I ain't mad. Go on in. It looked cute and it looked nice in the dress. It just, the dress was just, it was bright and sparkly. Anyway, Siggy looked nice as always. She had her boobs out. She loves the boobs out. I ain't mad at her about that either. She looked nice. Jacqueline, I was wondering what was going on with her choker. Her choker looked like it was choking the shit out of her. I'm like, damn, because it was like, I mean, I know she has, like, you know how people have those necks that they have a little extra skin, like she has that, which I thought that was one of the plastic surgeries that she had. I could have sworn that she had that done. She done had so much, but it was like right here, and it was like, and I was like, can you breathe? Like, and then every time she talked, it seemed like it was digging into her damn neck. I'm like, oh my God, ban them chokers. Hell, I didn't realize the chokers like that. Like, I know people wear those like bands, but I didn't realize like jewel chokers were still in style. And I mean, hey, I love me a choker. I have a couple myself. So I ain't mad about the choker if it's in style or not. I'm mad about the choker that Jacqueline was wearing on her neck. Like, shit, girl, no. You need a cuff. Oh, wait. Melissa was cute. She looked pretty much the same way she always looks. You know, she always has pretty much the same hairstyle for the last few seasons. They did do a flashback though, some earlier season, and I forgot that she wore her hair long and curly, similar to Teresa's when she first came on the show. Anyways, yeah, she was cute. I liked her outfit. I liked the little cutout on the side. I like that. Teresa, you know, she looked nice in her dress. I did like the dress. The little what do you call it? Oh my God, faux skin, but that's not what you call it. Oh my God, I cannot think of the name. Anyways, that was throwing me off a little bit. Shit, what is it called? Anyways, y'all know what I'm talking about. It was throwing me off a little bit, but I did like the dress. But I felt like, didn't y'all feel like Teresa, she just looked so much better when she had first gotten out of prison, the day that she walked in, you know, and the first day she had gotten home, I thought she looked so much better then than she does with just all this makeup caked on her. I think the makeup ages her a little bit, you know. I just think that maybe she needs to tone it down a little bit. And I've always thought that because we've seen her before, you know, with she's taking her makeup off or whatever. I don't know why she thinks she looks better with all that damn makeup. But anyways, let's move on. Let's start this episode off. Teresa and Jacqueline, they waste no time going in on each other with the insults. Teresa's like, she's surprised Jacqueline even showed up, and you know, all this and all that. I mean, I don't even know. Nobody had even asked them a question yet, but you know, it is what it is. But technically it starts out with Dolores. They give us a little synopsis of Dolores's time with Frank on the show. But somebody here asked the question, you know, what's going on if he didn't have a girlfriend, would they be together or whatever? She claims she doesn't think of him in that way, in any kind of intimate way. Girl, but I don't know who she's fooling. Not me. Not me at all, okay? Then what's his name? Andy asked her about her son and, you know, talk about how handsome he is and does she have to beat the girls off with a salami or whatever, which I thought that was kind of funny or whatever. But instead of like Dolores being able to answer, here goes Siggy jumping in. Oh my God, but he's not a player. My son is the player. Joshua's the player. Joshua, the one who used to suck on my titty. That's the player. Like, I'm like, oh my God, Siggy, shut up. Nobody even asked you. She was talking about her son. Like, you know, like it wasn't a group conversation at that moment. But anyways, it is what it is. She's can't have any choice, she said, but to be the Sig at all times. So, you know, it is what it is. And then he asked her about Dina. Can't remember how they got on the subject of Dina, but somehow he asked Dolores was she still friends with Dina. And I'm just like, why is Dina even relevant? You know, why are they even talking about Dina? Who cares if she's friends with Dina? Dina's not even on the show. Dina doesn't even live in the state of New Jersey anymore, okay? Like, why are they even bringing Dina up? I didn't even understand it. Then they brought Caroline up and all that. You know, are they still friends and this and that? I guess because Jersey is such a close, like, you know, it's such a family-oriented franchise of New Jersey, and everybody is intertwined either through long-ass friendships or family, marriage, something like that. So maybe that's why, but like whatever. I don't want to hear about Dina or Caroline right now because they're not on the show. Anyways, they move on to Teresa and Jacqueline. You know, Andy, he always talks about he wishes Luthi and Ethel would get back together. Siggy was basically saying, because, you know, she has to say, she was saying that, you know, Jacqueline she thinks she's in her head too much, and then Siggy's like, you know, Teresa, she's fun, I love her. She says whatever comes to her mind, she doesn't hold back, and I just love being around her or whatever. And Andy is like to Jacqueline, like, Jacqueline, do you think that Melissa was jealous of the fact that you and Teresa were getting close? And Jacqueline says that she does feel that way. And Melissa's like, what are you talking about? You know, I'm the one that was happy that you guys, you know, were friends. And Jacqueline's like, well, you're the one that was calling me, talking about, oh, can you believe she got that Lexus and this and that? And they started talking about the Lexus. Remember when Teresa, that was her, like, coming home present was a Lexus or whatever. First of all, I don't think anybody is buying that Lexus. Even Teresa admitted that the dang Lexus is leased. Oh my God. I took my fingernail polish off and I left one nail polish because I was going to do my nails after I get done with this video. This is hilarious. I got one nail. Hey. Anyways, let's move on. Don't focus on my one nail. I was sitting here like, something looks red as I keep doing this. Anyways, yeah, so I guess Melissa and Jacqueline, they probably were talking to each other when they first started filming. You know, Melissa probably wasn't quite sure how her and Teresa's relationship was going to play out. Jacqueline, we already know she came in, like, you know, hating on Teresa, the way she read that letter that Teresa wrote her, or text or whatever, and all this and all that. But yeah, and Teresa's like, whatever, Lexus doesn't even cost that much to lease, and Andy's like, well, why can't you just get a Ford? And for some reason Teresa thinks she's too good to drive a Ford. I don't know why. I'm sure she's driven worse than Fords in her day, okay, and not too long ago, you know what I mean? She wasn't always living in that house. Even when she first started on this show, she wasn't living in the house. She didn't even want to show her house the first season that she was on this show. So I mean, now you're too good for a damn Ford. Girl, bye. Anyways, let's move on. They discussed Danielle Staub. You know, pictures was swirling around with Teresa and Danielle and doing yoga. I think it was like 2 pictures that I saw of them. But then it was like weird because then Andy is like, well, Danielle sent me a question on Facebook that she wants me to ask you. Like, you know, Teresa, do you now get why I was so mad about, you know, you calling me a prostitution whore in front of my kids because of now all of the things that your kids have to read about you? And Teresa's like, everybody's kids were there, and if I remember correctly, I could have sworn that Caroline or somebody had asked all the kids to leave, and Danielle wanted her daughter to stay because, you know, her daughter was like her bodyguard, you know. So I mean, I don't know. I don't really remember, and they didn't show any flashbacks of it, so I don't know if I remember that correctly, but I feel like that's how it went down. But anyways, Danielle, I'm like, Okay, so I guess this is the little thing that they're the little spark that they're putting out there for next season when Danielle brings her ass back, you know, for her and Teresa to have their little tit for tat or whatever. Anyways, they move on to Siggy. Andy wanted to know why Siggy would rather go to jail than move to Israel. And Siggy was just basically, because remember, Siggy talked about how she shoplifted as a teenager because she wanted to get arrested so that she wouldn't have to go because her dad had gotten a job in Jerusalem and she didn't want to go. And, you know, she felt like she could have better opportunities here in America. So, anyways, and basically that's what she said. She's like, I felt like I could just have better opportunities here in America. You know, I didn't want to live over there. You know, you don't go to college when you live there. You do, you know, she was saying you go into the military after high school. It's not really the kind of lifestyle that she wanted to live. So, you know, that's why she was like, I want to stay in America, shit. Then they start talking about Jacqueline, and her kids. For some reason, they skipped over, CJ, and they only talked about Nicholas and Ashley. I mean, I guess because, you know, Nicholas is autistic and, you know, that's a big part of Jacqueline's storyline. And, you know, she had this tumultuous relationship with Ashley. So I guess maybe that's why. But I mean, I'm like, they could have even showed a picture of CJ, like something, man. Okay. Anyways, you know, she talks about how good, you know, Nick is getting, you know, how much better he's getting or whatever. And then they move on to Ashley, and somebody, I guess, had written in a question saying, like, you know, they can do the math. Like, everybody knows that Ashley was pregnant before she got engaged. And, you know, Jacqueline's like, well, everybody might have known, but we didn't know. Like, Ashley had gotten sick. We took her to the hospital, and that's how she found out. I mean, I don't know if I believe it or not. I really don't give a shit. You know, I wasn't, you know, saying married before I got pregnant. I was married by the time I had my baby, but shit, I was pregnant when I got married. I mean, a lot of people are. Who cares? I mean, you're with the person you're with. It is, I mean, unless it was an oops baby and it's like a, you know. Like, okay, let's just do this because I don't want to have no baby mamas in the world, and I don't want to have no baby daddies in the world, so we gonna get married. Unless it's one of them situations. Who gives a shit, you know? Really. Anyways, apparently, Ashley, I guess, had tweeted some bogus stuff about Teresa, comparing Teresa to, like, saying she looked like an ape and she was ugly or whatever. And I don't understand why Jacqueline didn't understand how that was wrong. You know, the kids really need to stay out of it. I understand that Ashley is an adult. She's, like, in her mid-20s. But at the same time, she needs to stay out of grown folks' business. That's her mom's friend. It's not one of her peers. You know, I don't like that. And, yeah, Jacqueline needs to check her. But Jacqueline said, basically, she's not going to because Ashley's grown. Then we see Joe Gorga. He comes out and sits in between Melissa and Teresa. And I guess I had missed this scene in the show, but apparently Joe came out of the shower and he was naked. And they showed, like, the scene, and I still don't remember it. And then here's Andy, like, you know, Joe Gorga, you got a pretty dick. I'm like, oh my God. And it just kills me how they can say dick on TV and then they don't bleep it out. Like, TV has just come a long way, y'all, for real. I've been watching Masters of Sex and like binge watching it, and I was just like, the stuff that he was trying to say in his little TV appearance, like, he couldn't even say the word sex, you know. Anyways, of course, they discuss the kids. Then they talk about the kids, the little kids, Melania, the Gorga kids. And of course, Andy is just always obsessed with Melania, and they talk about how good she is with Nicholas, and it's too bad that, you know, their moms can't get along, so that, you know, she did seem to be really good with him. So I thought that was cute, and the kids are suffering because the kids are friends, you know, just like how when Melissa and Teresa weren't speaking, how their kids were suffering, you know, not being able to see their cousins the way they want to. Anyway, so moving on back to Joe Gorga, Andy asked him if he felt that his comments were sexist. But Joe Gorga doesn't know what sexist means. Like, now, at first I thought he was joking when he was like, well, explain sexist. You know how people say, well, explain that to me, you know. But I really don't think he knew what sexist meant, you know. So Andy moved on, and Melissa jumped in, and Teresa jumped in about how, you know, this is how he is. He's old school. He likes for women to take care of him, and he takes care of his women or his woman, and blah blah blah, this and blah that. And basically Melissa and Teresa weren't really letting Joe get a word in edgewise, but you know, that's to be expected. And then somehow we got on the subject of Kim D. I don't know. Jacqueline jumped in and said something about, Melissa not wanting people to go shop at Posh or something. I don't even know how Kim D even came up. I really don't. And I'm like, who even gives a damn about Kim D? Leave her out of it. Like, she had, luckily on this season, she only had like a few minutes of camera time, luckily. So, you know, let's leave it at that. Can we be good with that, please? Let's leave Kim D out of it, okay? Then Andy wants to ask Teresa, why, Teresa, is it okay for Siggy to ask you about what's going on in your personal life with your husband, and it's not okay for Jacqueline to ask you? And Teresa's trying to explain for the gazillionth time that Jacqueline is her close friend. Jacqueline should not have to ask any questions. Jacqueline should know that Teresa just needs, you know, to be left alone to deal with her issues the way she wants to deal with them. But Siggy doesn't know Teresa, so she wasn't holding Siggy at fault. You know, she let Siggy know everything is good, and we're gonna leave it at that. You know, and that's that. I mean, I understand. I do understand, actually. They discussed you know, how Teresa and her brother have made up, and even the Joes have made up. Joe Giudice, when he calls and he wants to talk to the whole family, like including Melissa and Joe and their kids and everything. And then they show like a picture, a video of Teresa and Joe dancing at her Sweet 16 party. And Andy asked Joe for some reason, when did he lose his virginity? I guess because he had this mustache or whatever. And Joe, like, he lost his virginity at the age of 9. And I'm like, huh? Now, was it another 9-year-old girl that you lost your virginity to? I mean, was this like a teenager? Like, was it something illegal going on? Like, I didn't really understand it. So, I mean, I just want to move on because it's kind of grossing me out, honestly, to even think about it. They talk about Melissa and Teresa, how they're being cool, and Teresa's like, she hopes nobody comes in between them again, and Jacqueline's like, well, nobody was in between you guys before, you know, it was you guys that were, you know, causing all the issues. And then she's like, just like with the whole stripper thing, it was you were the one that was talking about Melissa. And I'm like, if they bring this up one more goddamn time, wasn't this like 4 years ago? I mean, seriously, let it go. Let's move on. Find something else new to be mad at, okay? And then let's talk about that for the next couple years. But seriously, let's move on from that bullshit. I don't even want to hear it. Then Teresa calls Jacqueline, said Jacqueline was a stripper named motherfucking Amber. And then Teresa's like, Dolores, you know she was a stripper. And this is how I know that Jacqueline probably was a stripper. Is because Dolores is like, well, I've never been to a strip club and seen Jacqueline stripping. Dolores was like, I don't want to have no parts of this. Leave me alone. Leave me out of it, okay? And Melissa's like, you know, Jacqueline, you did have something to do with, you know, with everything, with the whole Strippergate thing, because you didn't even come to the reunion the next day. Remember, that was the season where they had stopped filming one season. They had that finale, and then they started filming, they filmed the reunion, but they continued to film a new season. So it was kind of like 2 seasons, but they filmed it back to back. So it was like right after the reunion went off, then that next season came right back on. Remember that? So yeah, and Jacqueline didn't show up to that first reunion. And so Melissa's like, yeah, that's how I know you were guilty or whatever. I'm just like, oh my God, these people are crazy. And then Teresa says that Jacqueline, let's just close it up. Teresa says that Jacqueline, she feels like Jacqueline is the one that sold the story to the tabloid about Teresa going to jail. And then Jacqueline invited her over to her house. Remember when they were out on the deck and had that big fight? And Teresa feels like Jacqueline was calling the feds on her. Jacqueline set her up. Jacqueline turned her in. Jacqueline is the devil. Jacqueline is what's wrong in her life right now. Jacqueline is everything bad to Teresa right now. You know, I don't know. Shit, Jacqueline might be getting accused of sleeping with Juicy Joe herself in a minute, because they did start talking about, you know, Teresa was talking about how she was upset that Jacqueline said that Teresa was like, you know, told her that Joe cheated on her, and, you know, whatever. Teresa's like, your husband cheated on you, and it is what it is. They just going back, rehashing old stuff. This first half of the reunion was blah. Honestly, as reunions go, this was very blah, because it was all old stuff. Everything was old. It really was. Like, they didn't talk about anything new. So I'm hoping that next week the reunion is a little bit more interesting. Hopefully they talk about something that happened in, you know, at least the last 2 years. Anyways, you guys, that's all I have for the Real Housewives of New Jersey Season 7 Reunion Part 1. Let me know what you thought about this part, the first part of the reunion. Let me know what you thought about, you guys thought about the ladies' outfits and hair and makeup, and how Joe Gorga was sitting there like a little puppet because he couldn't talk. The ladies wouldn't let him talk, poor baby. And that's pretty much it. I am going to do videos on Real Housewives of Atlanta, as well as Married to Medicine, as well as the Orange County reunion. And I'm going to try to do another one tonight. So we'll see. Otherwise, they'll all come tomorrow. Anyways, until next time, you guys, stay real, stay safe, and stay tuned to Mika Chanel is just saying. Bye-bye.